reasons why I wanted to film here. 1, it looks nice. 2, I would like to prove to you how much university is taking over my life. I'm in my final year. Hair is starting to fall out. Eyeballs are starting to roll into the back of my head. I'm not coping very well. Having to lug a huge desk into my room just so I could work on it is probably the most saddest and adult thing I have done. And thirdly, it is a huge amount of dedication that I'm making into my videos because I still want to continue them even though I'm busy. I am still dedicating my time to you guys. I am still making videos, doing my best efforts, lugging a big ass desk into my room to enable that to happen because a lot of my time in my life is spent on my computer. This chair has probably had enough of my ass being on it and my eye's crying. Even my eye understands the pain. So obviously every YouTuber is making videos on Halloween and I haven't really done too much this year if I'm honest. This will be the bad bitch that I'm dressing up as this Halloween. I'm very excited to be filming, taking photos of that for you guys. But anyway, today I wanted to do a story time with you guys because I haven't done a story for a little while now. In the light of Halloween, I thought it would be fun to do a ghostly story. I have so many stories I could tell you. We could sit on a spooky sleepover and I could talk to about 6 in the morning. But obviously, because of the fact I'm recording a YouTube video and your attention spans are getting very, very small these days, I need to make this short and sweet. Now, this story I'm about to tell could be a series of very big consequences and I completely understand if that's what you feel they are. Okay, so that's covered with. Let's go. Me and my family have always joked that my older sister Kate, you might have seen her in some videos, I just spat probably because my mouth was so excited to be talking about her. We've always said she could be a really good medium or she has some weird connection with the spirit world than we do because she always seems to bring stuff with her. When she comes to visit my house, things usually happen when she's around. But we were all in bed. This was at the point in time where I was in this room with my sister and we shared this room together. God knows how we managed to do that. It's a mess of me or being on my own. There was a bunk bed right here. I was at the bottom, Vicky was at the top, and in the middle of the night there was a crash bang wallop. I'm a very deep sleeper because I sleep through absolutely anything, usually because I go to bed at about 5. Anyway, I did hear this and I also heard Vicky jump from the bunk bed, so I heard our big tootsies jump on the floor, so I was like, whoa. Open my eyes, realised Vicky's left the room, so I'm like, well, something's obviously happened because there was a big noise. And then as I leave the room, everyone else in the family seems to have formed some sort of congregation in the hallway because we've all heard this noise and they all seem to be looking into the kitchen and I'm like, oh god, what's in the kitchen? Burglar? It could be anything. And the entire contents of the cupboard is on the floor. So we have these cupboards that sit on the wall of our kitchen. So we've got the sink and the cupboards above the sink and the doors, they're open, they're wide open and all the stuff is just on the floor. I'm just thinking about it now, it's giving me goosebumps. So we're like, oh no, and then my mum gets quite, well, she doesn't get upset, but she's like, that cutlery that's fallen on the floor, all the cutlery that is 101% damaged is the stuff that one of her relatives that had passed away gave her. So we didn't really know what the cause was, but it could have been anything. I mean, cupboards break all the time. So fast forward to a month after that, we're all in bed. I can't remember if Kate was home at this point in time. I'm not saying that Kate was the purpose of all this stuff, but she was there the first time it happened and we all kind of looked at Kate and joked about it because we always mess around and say when she's down things always start to happen. And we're all in bed again and there was a crash bang wallet. So we all get out of bed as you did before and everyone's now looking in the bathroom and I'm like, what's going on? The entire glass door for the shower is on the floor. There was no curtain for the door or anything, it was all glass and the entire door had smashed onto the floor. My dad once again is trying to work out the logical reason for it because obviously if things are starting to break in your house you want to find out why so they don't happen again. We were trying to get in contact with the people that we'd bought the shower from and blah 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 blah. Turns out we still didn't know what happened. We still didn't really find out the proper reason, never did. Just replaced the door with a curtain so we could use that instead and life went on. It wasn't until I was looking at the calendar a couple of weeks or so later that I realised that incident had happened on the same day that it did the month before, so I was kind of a little bit like, oh okay, coincidence maybe. Fast forward a month later, me and my sister were sat in the front room watching television and we were just talking about, I don't know what, just talking about stuff, talking about life, and there was a crash bang wallop in the back room. So it wasn't at night anymore at this time, but what was that? Kind of creepy because it sounded like when someone breaks into a house they kind of like punch a window or something. It sounded similar to that, so we were like Home Alone, crapping ourselves. We creeped through the kitchen into the back room looking around for everything and then realised my dad's weather clock, one of these like clocks that predict what the weather's going to be like and they have a little pin in the middle and it points to windy or rainy, was on the floor and it smashed on the floor. So it had fallen from a top shelf and just gone phew. How could that possibly have come off the shelf? It wasn't at the edge of the shelf hadn't fallen down, it had just come down. We were home alone, so a little bit freaked out, but at the same time, none of these incidents that happened might sound a little bit creepy, but it didn't feel like a warning or something scary. Everybody in the house got more annoyed at the fact that glass was breaking and things were breaking and we would need to replace these things. So fast forward the next month, we didn't hear any crash, bang and wallop this time. However, I was on the toilet having a tinkle, and I was only just at that point in time thinking about how nothing had happened recently and how it's quite strange that had happened, and then the next month came and nothing else had happened. And so I was looking around the bathroom, and as I look up, I realised there is a huge crack down our window from the top to the bottom. So you could assume that someone closed it too hard and it cracked maybe, but why hadn't anyone noticed that before? When had it happened? Obviously when nobody was around to hear it. So I saw it, woo, creeped me out. Goosebumps again. I've got goosebumps from telling the story. So obviously we had to replace that too, another annoying thing. And then it dawned on me that all of the stuff that was happening and breaking was all glass, but there was, I feel, somebody saying something. I don't know what it was. I mean, I've heard that a lot of stuff can happen in your house if you're doing a lot of construction to it. So if you're changing a lot of the building, and kind of like if you watched your house get changed up, you would be a little bit pissed off and you'd start doing stuff to mess with the people who live there. There was birthdays and anniversaries of people who are past in our family around the different times that this stuff was happening, but it hasn't happened again. So you would have thought that if it was something to do with that, then why hasn't it happened again for another anniversary, another birthday? I don't know. Another funny story that actually happened, which was actually recent, this could have been another coincidence maybe. The old story I just told you about happened years ago, but this is something that only happened a couple months ago. Me and Kyle went into the kitchen to get a drink. We're such scaredy cats, and I know that stuff has happened in this house before, so I get a little bit weird, and I know people have seen stuff in my house too, so I'm like, ew. So I went into my bedroom with my glass, and then all of a sudden I heard a noise that came from where we'd just been, so I was like, what the fuck? I know for sure there was nothing there because we just came from there. So I was waiting for it to be, I don't know, my mum walked through the hallway or something, because the amount of times I thought there was a ghost and it was actually my mum, but no, nobody was there. And then we heard like a weird rolling noise. I wanted to cry. I was looking at Kyle like, I'm so scared, go look, please. I didn't blink. I was like, we couldn't find out what it was at all. There was nothing that had changed, moved, or nothing had fallen, nothing had broken, nothing, until I look into my dining room and I'm like, hold on, there's a light bulb in the middle of the floor. All the light bulbs are in there. Like, what? All the light bulbs are in that one, up that one. There's no reason for there to be a light bulb in here. And then it wasn't until we went into my washroom that has my washing machine and the tumble dryer in that the light bulb had come off, and it must have fallen down and rollen into my dining room. I don't really know how that's exactly possible, but we just found it really strange how it managed to do that. 1, without breaking, and 2, traveling that entire way. And 3, not really making too much of a noise other than the rolling part we had heard. The thing with the story about this is that I still don't know to this day what it could have been or who it could have been or why. I could say many more stories that are much more evidential, such as like when my granddad came through at the spiritualist church that I go to a lot and said this thing that was really obvious that it was him, but some people might not believe that had happened, so I thought this story might be a little bit more to think about and a little bit more exciting. If you would like me to talk more about some of the stuff that mediums or psychics have told me, then let me know. I've actually made some videos about this in the past already, so I could link them down there for you if you want maybe. I love you guys so much. Hope you're having a good Halloween. Take care, look after yourself, and don't do anything silly. Don't drink too much and don't knock on too many strangers' doors without people around you. Make sure you stay in groups, okay? Bye. No song. This is somebody who sings. This is somebody who writes their own songs. I'm gonna say Dodie. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Next video title is Something I Want You to Know. I feel like this is an opening up video. Something somebody's compressed inside them for a long time and they want to share. Oh, that was Ingrid's coming up video. So I want you to know.